Okay, we're looking at question 4 in this passage. So I'm going to start here at the top of the paragraph to read us into it. Regrettably, electronic medical records require infrastructure that can be expensive to build. They don't require physical storage space, they don't need to be photocopied and collated, and they are less likely to be physically misplaced. Okay, so that first chunk before this colon here is also underlined for another question, which means it can be changed, so I shouldn't take on faith that this infrastructure is expensive. But whatever is going on here, there's a colon followed by a list of qualities for electronic medical records. They don't require storage space, they don't need to be photocopied and collated, and no change, they are less likely to be physically misplaced. B, because they are less likely to be misplaced. Choice C, and being less likely to be physically misplaced. Or choice D, delete the underlined portion, and less likely to be physically misplaced. So I'm seeing a list of clauses here. They don't, they are. And it's asking me to change a little chunk of that last clause, this underlined portion here. And whenever a list is involved, my first thought is, okay, does this sentence maintain a parallel structure? Before we continue with the worked example, let's do a quick refresher on what parallel structure is. You'll see 1 to 2 of these on your official SAT, and what they ask you to do is maintain the same structure across a list of items. So in lists of 2 or more items, you want to make sure that everything is the same. You can't say, my 2 favorite activities are baking pizza, and I also love making tofu from scratch. It has to be, my 2 favorite activities are baking pizza and making tofu from scratch. Right, they both have to be set up as ing verbs, not an ing verb followed by a totally separate clause. In questions like these, you also have to focus on the part of the sentence that is underlined. That's the part that changes. So if you see a noun and an underlined phrase, that phrase should be a noun, right? Look at what's underlined and compare it to the rest of the list. Let's dive back into the video, and I'll take a moment to stop talking if you want to pause the video and try the question for yourself. All right, let's keep going. So I said before I detected a parallel structure in this passage that consists of little clauses that go they, verb, right? They don't, they are. If there were an option to change they are to they don't, that's automatically where I'd want to go, but that choice isn't available. And so I actually feel pretty good about A, our no change option. I'm going to leave that for now. Choice B, because they are, and let's hear that again back in context. They don't require storage space, they don't need to be photocopied or collated, and because they are less likely to be misplaced. Well, that's weird, because what? This sets up a dependent clause that doesn't resolve or go anywhere, and let's cross that off, it's no good. It messes with the parallel structure of the original. They, verb, is different from because they, verb. Choice C, being, and being less likely to be physically misplaced. This also interrupts that they verb pattern, and because it doesn't have a subject, it creates a sentence fragment, and that is a no good grammar error. Bye-bye, choice C. Now D wants us to delete the underlined portion, to delete they are over here, leaving us with and less likely to be physically misplaced. This also disrupts the they verb pattern, that parallel structure, and like choice C, it also results in a sentence fragment. And that means that choice A, the no change option, is our answer. Let me hit you with a final top tip before we review the strategy that I used in this worked example and strategies that you should use overall when you identify parallel structure questions. Avoid unnecessary repetition. The trapezist soared through the air with speed, grace, and with precision. So the word with comes before the rest of the list, so the one that comes before the word precision can be taken out. If you can find elements in the underlined portion that feel redundant, that's a great way to quickly knock out a choice. So let's review. Your strategy for parallel structure questions is 1. Learn to identify the patterns that establish parallel structure, making sure that all items in a list share the same grammatical structure and function. 2. Make a prediction about what would best maintain parallelism, and then check your prediction against the choices. 3. Focus on what you can change. The prediction that you're going to make is constrained by which parts of the sentence are underlined. And 4. Seek out unnecessary repetition. If you see redundancy in a choice, strike it. If you want to know more, check out the quick guide for parallel structure under the Tips and Strategies tab on our website. That's khanacademy.org/SAT.